So you want to make an adventure map, but you don't know how to. Don't worry, this tutorial is what you need for that. So what is an adventure map? The map genre, adventure, is between an RPG and a standard racing map. It takes storytelling and compresses it down to a shorter, more linear experience. This is done by using the media tracker inside the map to add music, effects, HUD elements, and cutscenes to create a cinematic driving experience. Unlike many beliefs, it is not a genre that is only limited to the Project Horizon series. All you need to get started is an idea for an event or story and a fitting music. You could, for example, create a car chase or a chill cruise ride towards the sunset. At the core, it is all about fitting your map to the music you choose. The possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Let's get started with preparing the music. For this you need to do a bit of editing. You can use, for example, Audacity or any other program you know how to edit music with. It's also possible to use video programs, since you can usually export audio and edit it in a simple way. Alright, so we are in Audacity now, and you can see I've already imported a title by Doktor Plekter called Dunk. And Doktor Plekter actually also provided me a song for the second Project Horizon map. You can find the link to his socials in the description. And the first thing you want to do probably when you open the music in Audacity is you want to lower the volume a little bit. We're not going to change the volume on the music because we want to keep it as high as possible. It's already mixed down. You can see all the spikes right here perfectly fitting. So it's super loud, and that's what we need. And we are looking for loops and transition bits. So right here at the beginning, if I play this, we have some kind of an intro to the song. So I'm going to click here. And after that intro, it's going to go into the first loop of the song. That loop is what we are going to cut and then export as single parts for the media tracker later on, so that you can put each part at a specific place and the music will progressively continue during your drive on the map. So first up, we're gonna go right here where that drop starts. Let's see. So we got this little triple hit right here, and then we get the loop exactly at this position. So I'm gonna click in here, and I'm gonna hit Control and I on the keyboard to split this. So now we have an intro part. We also can use this for the intro of the map. Not certainly the complete intro, but the intro of the gameplay basically, because it is pretty short. And let's just, listen to this and see where we can put the end cut in. You already saw, or heard, yeah, we have another transition bit right here. So this is also what we're going to extract. So what are we going to do? We need a loop. This is like 2 times the same loop. We can probably use only one of these, and then we still have a good result. So around here, let's listen to this again. So right here. I'm going to, there we go. All right. Clear the looping section just for me. This is where we want to cut it down as well. Control I again. And so now we have this splitted part right here. We can move this down to a new track. So I'm going to add a stereo track. I'm just going to move it down here. zoom out a little bit, gonna put it to the beginning. Gonna mute this line here. And we're gonna make a looping region out of it to check the looping. Alright, so we have to adjust this a little bit. Alright, it wasn't snapped to the beginning actually. Alright, here we go. And now it's snapping, perfect. And just like that, you have already created a loop, which you can export on later. So I'm gonna mute this track for now. We're gonna enable this one again. And so what we are gonna do now is actually kind of, oh, I think I changed something in the display right here. Waveform, mode view, spectrogram, wave color. Doesn't matter that much, it's same still. You just you can still see where the the wave is. So let's continue. Technically, we could also cut it right here instead. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna use this and then continue this track a bit more. So let's mute it again and enable this. Let's clear the looping region. And we're gonna move it to the beginning again here. Yeah, we have the beat again, like this. Yeah, we need the looping to see if it fits. It's pretty good. We're gonna keep that and we're going to go back into the main song. Alright, so now we have the transition bit, I call it, right here. So I'm gonna go in here and then first I'm gonna delete this because we don't need it anymore. Sounds already pretty good. Let's move our pointer here. So this is where we want to set the cut again. Right before they hit right here. So let's go in there. Let's cut it out. And then I'm gonna move it down to a new track. So add stereo track again. And now let's move this one down here. And we're gonna solo this. And let's zoom in a bit. All right, putting it to the beginning. And the looping adjustment. Do that. Even though, it's not looping, it's just for... So this is our transition bit. This is what you are going to use if you want to add a new media tracker trigger and change the music then. You kind of need to transition from part 1 to part 2. And so this transition bit makes it easier and better to listen to when you are changing the music. All right, let's continue on selecting one more loop. So technically we have another loop right here, and then we have a transition bit here, and then there's the next loop. So I'm gonna skip this right here and just take the next one to give you a better representation that you can, you just perfectly get how the music changes and how the transition bit works out. All right, so it's right here. Oh, I jumped a little bit too far. There we go. So I would say right here, let's make it cut, remove that, and then let's have a new loop. Question is from where to where, so let's find that out. There we go. Exactly right here. So let's click on this and have it split again. Zoom in a bit more just so that we can, be a bit more precise. I would say right here. There we go. Control I. Gonna delete the rest for now. You could continue, splitting the music into parts, into loops, and in transition bits until the end. Have some kind of an outro there as well. So let's listen to it in the loop. Loops just fine. And this is what we're gonna use. So the next step is to export these. And for that, we're gonna export each of these bits as a single WAF file, a WAF file. WAF, sounds weird. Whatever. So I'm gonna select this one right here, and now I'm just going to go export and then export selected audio. And so now I've made myself, some folders, and I'm gonna call it a music tutorial, just for that I can find it easier later on in the file browser. You don't see those files in the media tracker, but for sorting, it's usually better. And we're gonna give it a specific name, so I'm gonna call it Dunk Intro or Dunk 1 Intro. All right, save it. Doesn't matter. Okay. And so now we have exported that audio to the documents folder of TrackMania. So it goes into media, sounds, and then the folder you've done right here. So now we have that file exactly at that place. Perfect, and now we're gonna do this with the other clips. So export, we're gonna do it chronologically, so let's unmute this. There we go. So this is clip 1, export, select the audio. And then we have 2, call it a loop. Save. And then we have the transition bit, export. And I'm gonna call this a transition or transbit. And then the third one, export selected audio again. There we go. Number 4, which is course another loop. Save. Alright, so let's jump into TrackMania now, into the map editor, and make a map and bring those sounds in. So now we are in the map editor in TrackMania, and you see I've already made a bit of a track start, and the first thing you want to do is you want to remove the default music of TrackMania. So to do that, you go down here in the map options, click this button and then go to choose custom music, and in here I have this silence track, and this directory right here is found in your documents folder and then at media music. So there's a difference. This is music and you have sounds which you can use in the media tracker. So I have this silence OGG file right here. This is an OGG file. The difference between the WAV and the OGG files is the OGG files are not really good for looping music. That's why we are using WAV files for the media tracker, loops and music generally. But this OGG is just super low in file size, as you can see. You can also download this in the description and use it in your map together with a locator file. It's gonna stay up for, I don't know, forever probably. So you can use it to remove the TrackMania default music in your map. So we are going to choose this, return, and so now when you play it, you won't hear the default TrackMania music. So I made this map right here, and the first thing when starting with your adventure map, you want to make, you know, a running start. And we have the music, the intro and all of that, and we have to kind of fit the intro to the music drop. So we go in right here and you can see I've already have this sound FX block right here. Gonna delete it. So we are in the in-game media tracker slot right now. And there's usually one trigger. You can place this trigger to your spawn position. So like this. There you go. And then what we can do is we're gonna add a sound FX block right here. And with this, I'm gonna put this to music. And I'm going to select my first music. You can see it here, Dunk01 intro. This is what we got into the game. So I'm going to select this. You can already hear it. Let's turn up the music a bit. And as you notice, it repeats itself. So if you don't hear this on the music track right now, that's because probably you selected the music first and then put it to is music. To fix that, just reload the in-game media tracker and then it's gonna play properly. So next up, I want to duplicate this. So copy, paste, and I'm gonna select the next, which is this loop right here. You can't really scroll through the timeline, but you get the idea. So now basically what we're gonna do is we have to check if that fits to our intro, or basically at which point is this part to be played. So I'm gonna place down a finish block like this, just right beside the road, and I'm gonna go into the validation. Technically that should play the media tracker already, but it could be that there's a bug, and there is actually. So sometimes this bug happens and it doesn't save your changes. So always save your stuff when you leave the media tracker actually. So let's re-add this. There we go. Let's edit the trigger. And let's save this. Alright, let's get back. And so now I'm just gonna go and play this. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting where it's gonna start, because obviously we need to do the running start, the flying start. But right now it is just driving forward. So how are we gonna do this? So the intros of adventure maps with, you know, intro camera and all of that, they are PF intros. And so I'm usually going to place down turbo gates, and here we go. Gonna turn it around for just for the aesthetic, and cruise control and no steer, and as well the anti-brake right here on the start. So I'm gonna place, you can also use this. Here we go. So I'm gonna place a red booster right in there, and then we are going to place down a anti-brake. A no steer. And a cruise control right after it. So now, when we start, this is what happens. And you see, just like that, we basically made an autonomous start, like that, you know, a booster start basically, that is PF. And it pushes the player directly into the cruise control and all of that. So we have great control on how to start the map now. And it finished around here, which is good because I wanted to start right on the apex. And we are going into the media tracker now. In the in-game track again. And so what we need to do is record a reference ghost. So we're gonna click right here and then go to record. Place it here. And then you just play. Like this. And so now when you are viewing this, we have a ghost. And this ghost is gonna be our reference, that's why it's called reference ghost, for the cameras. And we also see, okay, it is ending, or basically the drop comes right here. So this is where we are going to place a reset gate. I'm usually doing this with the free block mode or free item mode. I'm gonna place it just right here on the top. Alright, that should fit. So let's go back into the media tracker. Let's watch it. Should work perfectly fine. So what we can do now is actually start making our cinematic that goes into the gameplay view. And for that I have already created a clip you can use. You can find the link in the description as well. So I'm gonna import this custom cam to gameplay clip. And here's the camera. And this camera is basically set up to imitate camera 2. Cam 2, and so I'm gonna put this right here where it starts. Just right here, right before the reset. And so now I can actually already start making a cinematic. I'm just gonna make an extra keyframe right before here so that it has a smooth, you know, stable position at the end. And so after that I can start making a cinematic. You can see this camera is already anchored to the local player, so it should by default work for everybody when you import this into your map. Let's do a couple of custom camera spots right here. like this. And adjust it a bit. And this way, you've already made a custom camera that goes into the gameplay view. Always keep your eye out that the last block, the endless mode for the block is not active. Otherwise, this camera will stay forever. And so I'm just going to add a little fading transition. And obviously you can add all the custom stuff like camera shake as well. And as I said, keep your eye out on the keep last block of the track active. Always disable it if it isn't something like a fog or stuff that should end where it ends. To make it a bit more cinematic, what you can do is actually add a image. In this image, I imported a black square. Let's see it right here. And so I'm just making this like that, like a black bar, and I'm putting it on the bottom and on the top. So let's move it down here. Even further, or something like this, or even more actually. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna copy the keyframes. And this is gonna be 1.5, and here I'm gonna put it a little bit more down, not too much. And so I'm just copy pasting this again, and now I'm gonna reverse the position. And let's make a keyframe right here and here, where I'm copying the first keyframe to. And so now we have this cinematic bar, these cinematic bars that go open when you go into the gameplay. Alright. Obviously you could adjust the camera a little bit more. This custom camera is targeted towards cam 2. Technically you could also try to make it cam 1. Sorry, I don't have a template for that right now. Maybe someone's gonna make a template, or I'm gonna make a template for that in the future. But if we go now, let's save this map. It's safe, right? And now I'm just gonna try this. You can see that there's still a little bit of a snapping. That's the case, because this template clip won't always perfectly fit. So you have to adjust it sometimes. And you can do this by adding a player camera. Set it to external 2. And then have it right here. And so now if you play it back, you can see the snapping and can actually adjust this by going back and forth and then do the little precision work. Alright, and let's do another test. And you see there's still this snapping. It is sometimes really hard to adjust that when you have, you know, something like this, like a hill where the camera goes over the hill with the car, because the settings not gonna be quite like they are in the media tracker when you watch it. It is a bit weird, I have to admit, but it is just precision work. You know, you have to get in there, adjust it, test it again, adjust it, but you get the idea of how to make this running start with a cinematic 2 gameplay view. So what about the rest, you know, the custom music that is progressing and all of that? I'm gonna just continuing to build this map right here, and then we're gonna add a transition bit, and as well as a ghost that is coming in with the player. We can actually, before we try it again, we can actually go into the media tracker again and add another trigger now, which is changing the music as I mentioned before. So I'm gonna add this to this jump right here. Sound effects. Add the transmit and then the loop. Alright. Should be fine, save. And validate. And so now you can hear the music is changing, and that's the way you expand your map, fitting to the music. And depending on your music, you can also, you know, include in effects and events and all of that. But yeah, as I told you, I wanted to record a ghost, so now we have a author ghost as the reference ghost. And there's a problem I want to make you aware of with the ghosts. So they are offset. We're gonna add the ghost to the second trigger actually. Alright, so we recorded a ghost on the second trigger, and it should come from down there, and you can see it isn't there yet, and that's the bug that is happening there, that the ghost is offset is in the current state of this video. And it works on the first trigger because that's the same starting point as your car. But on the second one, it doesn't work. So I'm just checking here where we are landing. Basically the duration, okay. At 1 second, we are hitting the reset gate. So this is the value I am remembering right now. And now I'm going to delete the reference ghost. So this fixes the bug. Now I can see the recorded ghost actually there on the road. And let's just check where it is at 1 second. This looks fine as it is. Otherwise, you would have to adjust it. All right, let's test it again. So no car here. And there's our car coming in. And now we are racing this car. And so this is how the map could continue. Alright, those are the basics for adventure maps. It's a heavy use of the effect blocks and to, you know, preserve player from going somewhere where you don't want to, and also to keep the car in a line at the same speed or whatever, to give you the option to add in cinematics. So the last part now, after this, biggest part of the whole tutorial, is talking about how you get your media to the player with locators. It's going to be pretty short, so let's switch to the desktop. Alright, so now we are at the desktop in the browser, and I have Dropbox open in the background, and the thing for getting your media to the players, be it images, audio, or whatever, is that you are going to upload the files. Easy as that. And when you have uploaded the files, what you need are locator files. And locator files are essentially just text files, so txt files, that you are putting the whole name with the file extension of your actual file into, but you're gonna change the txt extension to a loc locator extension. Yes. Yep, and I'm just gonna copy this 3 times, and now I'm just adding the names to them. So you have to do this for each bit that you want players to be getting and players to get. And so last one, there you go. All right, so what are those? Easy. They are still behaving like text files, and so what we're gonna do is now just simply adding the download links to those files from Dropbox. So I'm gonna copy, for example, here the intro. I'm gonna copy this, and since it's Dropbox, I just have to put the 0 to a 1, and then it's a direct download link. So you could also use Discord. Technically, you can upload your files to a private Discord server just in any channel, and then copy the link from the file and put it into your document. Dropbox, for example, has a bandwidth limit for unpaid accounts, so that might be not an option for you. But there are plenty of other file hosters out there. The only thing is that the link you put in this locator file is a direct download link. So if you would put this link in the browser, it would straight up just prompt you the download of the file. Alright, so first one down. This is the second one. So let's copy that and put it in. Save and close. And next one. Copy. Paste. Save and close. And the last one. Copy. Paste. Save. Close. And that is all you have to do. So if you are using any of these files in your map and save it with a locator in the folder, so you have to save your map when after you have added those locator files, then it's gonna save the download links inside of the map, and when someone who doesn't have those files on his local hard drive is opening the map, it will download those into the cache. And that is all you have to do to get custom content, media content, towards other people. And that is the end of this tutorial. I hope it helped you, and I hope to see some of you start to try making adventure maps as well. Looking forward to it. Alright, until then, have a great time and see you in the next video. Bye bye.